The right and the wrong way to disagree with the Franchise Tax Board audit. How to not make things worse. If you've just received a notice from the California Franchise Tax Board, the FTB, saying they've adjusted your tax return, you might be thinking, they're wrong and I can prove it. That reaction is natural, and sometimes you're absolutely right. But here's the problem. How you disagree with the FTB can determine whether or not you can actually fix the issue, or turn a simple disagreement into a financial nightmare. So in this video, I'll explain how the FTB audit process actually works, when it makes sense to fight back, and how to protect yourself before your disagreement becomes an escalation. Whatever you do, don't simply ignore the FTB. The FTB simply isn't another state agency. They have broad power to assess taxes, collect penalties, and even file a criminal tax referral. When they adjust your return, it's not a suggestion. It's a legal determination that you owe more tax penalties and interest. If you do nothing, those findings become final and they begin to collect. Interest starts to compound daily, and your right to appeal or contest the audit quietly expires. So if you think they got it wrong, you have to act strategically and fast. Here's the truth I've seen over my nearly 30-year career. Even the best auditors make mistakes. Sometimes they misread your documents, they compare you to wrong benchmarks, or they assume criminal intent when there was a simple misunderstanding of the law. In small businesses, they often misclassify expenses, treating legitimate deductions as personal spending. And in self-employment cases, they can overstate income by relying on incomplete data, like 1099s that don't show refunds or chargebacks. That's why it's so important to review the audit line by line and understand why they made each adjustment. There is a right way to disagree. You have the right to disagree, but it's not as simple as writing, "I object." California law requires that your protest is formal and supported by evidence. That means reviewing the auditor's work papers carefully, identifying the specific adjustments that are wrong, providing documents that directly support your position. And here's why so many taxpayers fail. They argue emotionally, not legally, based on law and fact. They send angry letters or irrelevant spreadsheets, and the FTB just denies the protest. It's easy for them. To win, you need to build a factual and legal foundation for your disagreement. Once you file a proper protest, your case goes to the FTB's protest unit. This is a separate department, not the original auditor. They will review your file, request additional documents, potentially, and sometimes schedule an informal hearing. But make no mistake, this is in no way a fresh start. They often simply relied heavily on the original audit's findings. That's why it's critical that your protest is built like a legal brief, not a customer complaint. If you don't provide solid proof and credible legal reasoning, they'll simply uphold the audit. And at that point, your only remaining option is to appeal to the Office of Tax Appeals, a process that could take years and costs far more than the tax penalties and interest that you're trying to fix. Let me share a few of the most common mistakes I see in this area. Arguing with the auditor directly after the audit closes. Complete waste of time. Failing to submit a written protest within the 60-day window. Big no-no. Submitting new evidence without explaining its relevance. Assuming their CPA or tax preparer can just handle it. Remember, communications with a CPA or tax preparer are not privilege. If your case results in criminal tax exposure, everything your CPA preparer says, writes, hears, or views can be evidence against you at a later date. When an audit starts to go sideways towards criminality, you need legal privilege and a strategy designed to protect you, not just correct the math. An experienced tax attorney CPA does 3 essential things for you. 1. Protects your communications under attorney-client privilege. Nothing you simply share with your attorney can be used against you by that alone. Rebuilds your case from the ground up. Our office reviews every adjustment, cross-checks data, and identifies legal defenses the auditor may have missed. We negotiate from a position of strength. The FTB knows which taxpayers are represented by counsel, and they take those cases much more seriously because of the very real risk of litigation rather than the mere weak threat of it. Whether you're at the audit stage, the protest stage, or the appeal, You do not have to accept the FTB's word as final. If you received an audit finding from the California Franchise Tax Board, don't ignore them. And don't fight blind. A single mistake can make things worse. Call 1-800-681-1295 or visit clasingandassociates.com to schedule a confidential reduced rate initial consultation today. We will help protect your rights, your business, and your peace of mind.